We should be live, and we are live. Hello, skewers, people out there in TV land. Welcome back to another Archie stream. I'm your host, Ranger J 1999, part of the Archie crew and panel for tonight as we discuss episode 4 of The Mandalorian. Oh my god, this series is just so freaking balls amazing. I love it so much. And here to discuss it, we've got the crew with us. We've got Dr. Finn Medicine Woman with us.
Hi.
Also join us, we've got the Mandalorian himself, the Viking, BCM Big Country Mags here.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And last but not least, we've got Grim the Mechanic, representing by his skull and anarchy symbol.
This is the way.
I have spoken. All right. Welcome everybody in chat, man. It just this series is just getting better and better and better and better. And I've got to say it. I've got to say it. I can't stand porgs. I think all Ewoks should be burned to the stake. But Baby Yoda has won me over. Baby Yoda is the best goddamn thing ever, man. I swear to Christ, that thing. It's the stupidest, cutest thing ever. You cannot help but look at Baby Yoda and be like, yep, Baby Yoda, yep, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, you can't help but look at him when he does something and go,
God damn.
Okay, that's cute.
You can't be angry at Baby Yoda. It's not possible.
Yeah, and you can't blame the Mandalorian for melting his heart a bastard.
No, you can't. God. So, and we're going to get into it, I mean... So we start off after episode 3, right into episode 4. Baby Yoda's trying to cute scene. He's like pushing buttons.
Well, this one started off
change
a
the
little
channel on the
differently.
radio.
This started off with the village, remember?
Oh yeah. So yeah, we started with the village. I was gonna get to the village, but yeah, that's a good place to start. Is we see this village, krill farmers, and happy little settlement on this planet, and they're fishing and the kids are having fun, and then all of a sudden here comes the baddies, this raiding force that comes in, and the people run, and they take all their food and stuff back to their camp, right? And you get a sense that there's some kind of big baddie in the forest. You don't know what it is yet, but you know that it's out there, and so it sets up the whole thing. And then we get cut to the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda, and he's flying, and he's looking for a place to go, and Baby Yoda's over there, pushes a button.
Flipping switches.
And then he pushes a button again. The Mandalorian's like, don't do that. And then Baby Yoda, you see him just slowly just raise his hand, and like he's being sneaky. Like,
just behind his back.
He's looking at the Mandalorian the whole time going, I'm going to push it. And the Mandalorian's like, all right, come here. Because I think he hits the engine light or something. And so the Mandalorian scoops him up and is holding him. And then he's looking for a planet. He finds one. He's looking for something that it's like off the kind of the radar, low tech, backwoods, backwater planet to go. And he finds one and he goes there because he's looking for a safe place to kind of lay low with Baby Yoda, right? So lo and behold, it's the same planet that we just saw the krill farmers. Makes sense, right? Lands there. Is going to go scouting out. Says, all right, you stay here. Don't touch anything. Don't go anywhere. Just stay right here. I'm going to go scout things out. And so you see the Amanda. He gets ready. He opens the door, and then there's Baby Yoda standing right next to him.
He's like, oh, what the hell?
What the
Come
hell?
on.
All right, come on. And so they go through the city and town, and you see Baby Yoda seeing all these different creatures and people and stuff like that. And they go to the cantina scene, and they go there, and he takes Baby Yoda, puts him on a seat, and then orders him some soup. And he notices that Gina Carano's character, and I can't remember her character's name off the top of my head, she's sitting there. He's already suspicious of her. She's suspicious of him, right? And so leaves Baby Yoda there with the waitress, and goes outside, and they tussle, thinking that
they're both after each other.
It was a really Cara Dune. Thank you. And so they start going at it, beating the crap out of each other. It gets to a standstill where they're both pointing their blasters at each other, and then you hear,
yeah,
there's Baby Yoda with his soup, looking at both of them.
And I love the line. The Mando they kind of look over at him and, you want some soup?
Yeah, he wants some soup. So they're talking. You find out she's an ex-soldier for the New Republic, and she's kind of a mercenary.
She was on the Battle of Endor.
Yeah, she's an ex-mercenary now and stuff like that. So, she's kind of laying low, and so she says, I was here first. You're gonna have to. She's like, I thought you were in the guild. Maybe you were here for me or something. And he's like, okay, well, I had suspicions about you. And, so you see there's a little bit of chemistry building up there. And so she kind of let him know, like, hey, I was here first. This is my turf. You have to go somewhere else. And the Mando's like, okay, well, I guess we'll go look for someplace else. So
this planet's taken.
Yeah. So we get to the scene, and this reminded me of that old Western, or it's kind of like that.
The Magnificent Seven.
The Seven Samurai.
The Seven Samurai.
Yeah, that kind of feel to it, where the townspeople go and they look for anybody that can fight off the baddies that are coming to their town, because they don't know how to fight. Very reminiscent of that. So it had that Seven Samurai feel to it, which I really enjoy. So these two guys come up and ask the Mando, hey, this is all you got. He's like, it's not enough. He's already turning them down before they can even get started. And it gets to the point where he's basically have given up. He's like, okay, just go find somebody else. And they mentioned that they have a town. He's like, remote town? And they're like, yeah. With lodging? And they're like, yeah. It's like, okay. And then all of a sudden, he's all in, because now he's thinking he's found a spot for him and Baby Yoda. Before that, he takes the money that he gives him, gives it to Cara Dune's character, says, hey, I'm going to hire you. And so they go to this town. So up to this point, this series just does a great job of, like, those character moments, those things that you just remember. I think Baby Yoda has just been stealing the show. I mean, The Mandalorian there's a scene a very, very powerful scene that comes up into the town that we'll get to, but at this point, Baby Yoda's just still in the show. I mean,
yeah.
The cat. There was a scene where they're going to the canteen, the cat screeches out. And he's like, and then he'll just sitting there with the soup, man. I swear to God, that is the stupidest, cutest thing I've ever seen. He's just sitting there drinking a soup. The Mando's like, you want some soup? They just beat the crap out of each other. All right, so they get to the town. They get settled in. We're introduced back to the mother and the daughter. It was a really touching moment. They come in. She brings him something to eat. Tries to feed Baby Yoda, asks if he can come play. And, the Mando's like, I don't think this is a good idea. And the mother's like, no, it's okay. He'll be fine. And so you see the Baby Yoda going out there with the kids and stuff playing. And, of course, I go back, when they first arrived there, the kids, as soon as they see Baby Yoda, I think had the reaction we all did, like, oh! And they just swarmed to Baby Yoda.
I want to touch it.
Yeah. And then all the adults are, like, looking at the Mando like, okay, a Mandalorian. That's cool. There's a really good scene for the Mandalorian where the mother's asking him, does he ever take the helmet off? Which we were just asking in episode. Yeah. We were talking about this previously in previous episodes, and we talked about it during I know I was streaming with good old Tiz McVenom last night, and she was asking me about the lore behind that, and we were talking about it, and it was just a great line. She's like, do you ever take, when's the last time you took that off? He's like, yesterday. She's like, well, what happened if you took it off?
No. Then she asked, when's the last time you took it off in front of other people?
Right, in front of other people.
And then he goes to the window and points out at the kids playing. He goes, not so much older than they were.
Yeah. And he says, when my parents were killed, the Mandalorians took me in and raised me. And so explains
This is
that
the way.
yeah, this is the way. Like if he takes it off, he can never put it back on, right? And it's a really cool scene. She leaves, right? He sits down to eat, and you see the helmet come off, and you see the helmet laying there so he can eat, and he's looking out at the kids. I thought it was a great moment. It was really a touching moment for the Mando. So I don't know if he sleeps with it on. I don't know anything, Mark Garnett.
Well, they slept on the way there because he was sleeping in the back of the wagon.
Yeah.
With Cara Dune and Baby Yoda.
So
But
apparently,
I think when he's alone, he can take it off.
you're right. This one, he's out and about. Can't take the old helmet off. It's kind of like Finn's beard. When he's not on stream, the beard is gone. But when he's on stream,
Oh, it's coming off tomorrow.
Yeah,
I already told the gold VIPs they're getting. I'm shaving it off tomorrow.
that's it's looking a little scraggly there, Finn. It's
It's the end of November. It's coming off.
Remember.
Mountain Man
End of-
Finity there.
yeah. Paul Bunyan Finn no more. It'll be Babyface Finn again. So there's that scene. Then him and Cara Dune, they want to find out about who they're facing, right? Because they're protecting the village and stuff. So they go there. They go scouting out. They're checking the tracks. It was a cool scene where you've seen it in the previous near the canteen and some other times where his visor can see footprints. So that's how he tracks people, right? Their heat signature from their footprints and stuff. Well, they both see a footprint that they know is bad news, and that is our good old friend, the ATST. That's right, the all-terrain vehicle that we've seen from
Chicken Walkers.
the Chicken Walker from Empire Strikes Back, and of course, Return of the Jedi. These group of bandits, thugs, have one, and kind of like their trump card. So the Mandalorian and her go back. They have a meeting with the townsfolk, and like, you can't live here.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
yeah, it's time to go. You can't live here anymore.
And they're like, no, we can find it. It was cars. She was like, your bedside manner sucks. It's like, you think you can do better? And so she tries to explain. It's like, no, you don't understand. I've seen that one of those take out a whole company of soldiers before. You cannot defeat this thing. And then, they're going back and forth, and then the Mandalorian, because they do not want to give up their home. I mean, who does, right? And so the Mandalorian has a great line. It's like, not unless we show them, right? So they start training the people on what they can use and fight. You start a typical scene, trying to train people that don't do anything. We saw Boskus Relby come out of the case. A Relby was shown, which was given to the mother. She's pretty damn good with that Relby.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone else was missing. She's like, pop, 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 pop.
And the Mando was like, oh, hello.
Like, well, hello there. So they make preparations. They dig a pit. They come up with a plan of like how to take the ATST off the battlefield. So it's just the soldiers versus the people. They dig earthworks and make a defensive position. And so the plan is the Mando and Cara Dune are going to go to the tent, rouse them up, do their thing, right? Bring them back, and then they've got a pit dug to, take care of the ATST. Well, Murphy's Law applies because everything that will go wrong, can go wrong, does go wrong, no matter how perfectly planned something is. So they go there. They sneak into the camp. It was really cool. You saw the stealth of Cara and the Mando taking out the sentries, taking out people on guard duty. They get inside the tent, and I wasn't sure what they were working on. Couldn't tell if that was spice or what they were making.
No, it's
it was
booze.
it was that beer they were drinking.
Okay.
That
I
blue
forget what
Cola.
I didn't know
call
if I wanted to jump to that correlation because I know they were drinking that, but I didn't know if that was something else in the container that they were maybe trying to sell or something. I don't know, but if that's what it was, then that's what it was. So they go in there, fight ensues. Karen
Spotchka. That's what they were
there you
brewing.
go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So fight ensues. They plant a bomb. They barely get on time as their distraction. The bomb goes off. And immediately the ATST powers up. And the Mando and Cara booking it out of there. And just the ATST's firing on their ass. They get back. And they get behind the earthworks. And the ATST is the first one to arrive. It's hesitant. It's like... it's scouting with its light. It sees the water in front of it. It's not wanting to take that step. and then it opens fire, and then all the criminals, the thugs, the gang comes running in. Fight ensues. It was pretty well drawn. They have to improvise, so Carr goes in there, takes the Mando's rifle, starts shooting at the ATST, and it has her pinned down, trying to get it to move. And finally, she's able to get it to where, between her and the Mando, they get it to fall into the trap. It falls over into the hole. The Mando throws a grenade in there, blows it up. They chase off the rest of the bandits, and hooray! They've got the town back. And at this point, the Mandalorian, we get to the next day, and everybody's recovering and stuff, and he has a scene with the mother again. You can see there's some chemistry there, and Kara's like, you could stick with, not a bad life here, for you and that kid over there. And he's like, well, I'm going to leave the kid here, but he can't come with me. This is a safe place for him. He can be a kid here. He can grow up happy here. And she's like, it'll break his heart. She's like, I know, but but the Mando knows I got to go on the run. I can't keep him with me because it won't be safe for him. Well, at the same time that's happening, see a moment again where he goes back is talking to the mother character, and a bounty hunter has got one of those trackers, has showed up and is getting ready to take a shot at Baby Yoda, and then all of a sudden gets blasted through by Cara. Mando shows up, sees that they're being tracked, and he knows that no matter
it finally
where
dawns on them that they're not after him, they're after Baby Yoda.
Right. So no matter where Baby Yoda goes, he's going to have to always be on the run until he can figure out what to do. And that's where we kind of leave it, is them saying goodbye to the townsfolk. There's a touching scene when the girl gives Baby Yoda a hug, and there's some chemistry, a moment between the Mando, possibly a life he could have if he took off the helmet, and life of peace and calm and quiet and farming and stuff. But it's not meant to be. He's got to go on the run again with Baby Yoda. So him and Baby Yoda are on the run again. So we see the scene of Baby Yoda looking back at the town, and the town looking back at Baby Yoda and the Mando. And that's kind of the gist of this. It was very much a Seven Samurai feel to it.
Oh yeah, the whole episode just screamed Akira Kurosawa,
Well, yeah. So let's start with you, Finn. You're always quiet, and then I'll let you share your thoughts. I mean, besides Baby Yoda, you can mention Baby Yoda because I know you're dying to. What else about this? We'll go around the corner here. What about the episode you liked? What are some of the scenes you liked? What are the things maybe you didn't like? How would you rate this episode? If you play Baby Yoda, I'm going to punch you in the face. It's a simple science thing, man. Just answer the question.
Click.
God.
Baby Yoda.
Don't touch that. And Baby Yoda looks at him like, okay.
I know. I just like how he was staring at him the
I
entire
know,
time. You see the little hand
little
moving. Click.
Like any toddler that gets in trouble would.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, I was looking right at you. Click. You don't see this hand. This hand isn't doing anything.
This is not the hand you're looking for.
No, he's trying to do the Jedi mind trick.
I have to say though, so I think so. This is going back, right? But and I'm going to talk about Baby Yoda, but I think the best thing that happened in this series was the fact that the Baby Yoda helped the Mandalorian beat, what was it? The mud.
The mud something, yeah. The creature.
Mudhorn. That he actually helped him stop the Mudhorn, right? Because if he hadn't done that, we would look at Baby Yoda and just wonder, like, what is he able to do, right? Now he's kind of a little badass, and he's just a little kid at the same time. I think it just adds to the mystique of Baby Yoda as you see him, right? Because first off, when he gets off the ship, right, and he told him not to go anywhere. first off, I'm not sure he completely understands what the Mandalorian is saying.
Oh, he understands completely. He just doesn't.
I don't know if he fully understands it. He gets the gist of it, but I don't think he fully comprehends it. Then again, I don't think he cares anyways. He does what he wants. But when he like opens when the doors, the hatch is opening, and he's just kind of standing there, and all of a sudden you see Baby Yoda just kind of looking out. It's like, oh, we're going on an adventure? Okay. All right, fine. All right, fine, let's go. And then, like, when the Mandalorian starts walking, if you notice Baby Yoda, and so this part, I don't know if anyone really paid attention to it, because it's kind of a subtle thing, but Baby Yoda, like, it's almost walking as if he's taking his first steps, right? He kind of is, like, shifting his weight in order to take, and he doesn't just move his legs, he, like, shifts his weight, like, every single step. And he's like barely moving every single time. And then later on, you see him trying to like run at his Baby Yoda pace. The Mandalorian's actually going much slower with his walk, right? He's not going ahead and scouting or anything. He's just like sticking with Baby Yoda, and he's walking super slow. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing too. Like he's letting Baby Yoda come, but he's still kind of protective of him, even though Baby Yoda can probably handle himself if he really needed to. Just doesn't care. He just kind of does his own thing. And yeah, and then of course the kids love Baby Yoda.
The soup thing was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, I know. He's just standing there. It's like, so what are you guys doing? It's like looking at him like, oh, you guys are playing too.
Mommy and daddy are wrestling. Go away.
That's one of those ones of, how long have you been standing there? The whole time.
But so the other part too, right, is if you take that scene for a second and replace Baby Yoda with old Yoda. Can't you see old Yoda doing the same thing as if he was like training the Mandalorian? In like some way, like if he was training the Mandalorian and you just saw old Yoda would just kind of sit there and just watch to see what happens. He might be sipping some of his tea and stuff too. I was watching that. I'm like, you can tell, and I don't know, maybe this is me reading too much into it, but I am getting the feeling that somehow he is related to the old Yoda. He's not a new one or anything like that. We don't know anything yet, but just from seeing that and being able to replace Baby Yoda with older Yoda, it made me think that we're gonna get some more about the story between Yoda and Baby Yoda, and whether or not he really is kind of like a clone of Yoda that was developed at the facility, and kind of like what we discussed after the first episode, what Baby Yoda could be.
Yeah, we did the origin. I mean, we're getting snippets, right, of the Mandalorian's past. We're getting snippets, not a lot, but actually none at this point of like where does Baby Yoda come from, right? I'm just reading the chat. Walter Arnold says the look Baby Yoda has at the end as he pulled away from the town broke my heart. It was basically him realizing that he would never have a simple, normal life. Yeah, could be. That's a good way of interpreting it.
I don't think he ever thought he would, though.
You got to remember, Baby Yoda. I mean, at this point, he's 50 years old. So it's not. I mean, he's a child, but he's
had people come after him into the cave. Like he's had a bounty after him since he was probably born, right? So this isn't anything unusual to him. I think. I don't know. I think he's always sad seeing like leaving people, but
yeah.
So being 50 years old, could we assume that he's actually smarter than he is? Like how Yoda portrayed being the dumb hermit to Luke on.
Remember, that race lives a really long time. So this guy, even though he's 50 years old by our standards, is probably still a toddler.
Yeah. Just because. So the thing is kind of like the difference, and I'm gonna kind of jump into D&D terms a little bit here, but it's kind of the difference between like intelligence and wisdom, right? Wisdom kind of comes with age. Intelligence kind of comes from experience to some extent. And so I think he's seen a lot. I don't think he's old enough yet to process everything.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of learning. Like every time you see him,
he's always
you see him kind of looking around. Exactly. Like he's looking around and just trying to gauge exactly what's happening. And even with the switches, right? As funny as that scene was, every time he pushed a button, if you saw his reaction, he was like looking around the ship to figure out what exactly was changing with that button. And then he'd press another one, and then he'd start looking around, like, what's going on with this button? And he wants to press every button to try and figure out what's happening with every single one, and then he becomes a little mischievous self that he is. And the other part, too, when he's sitting on his lap, if you notice, he, like, reaches for the handle in order to try and move the pilot, and then aiming for the little ball, too. Like, he's He's ready to try and experiment with everything. He just doesn't have the wisdom to do it properly, but he's trying to gain a lot of knowledge. So
Durgan says, "I'll be glad when Baby Yoda is dropped off someplace. I'll get out of here, Durgan."
We all know that eventually probably will.
It probably will happen. Kurt
happen.
Mann says the FBO tracker thing still never explained. How did the one bounty hunter find them? Was he probed? No. So the trackers are based off genetic coding. When someone has a bounty on them, they use a genetic tracker that can track them anywhere in the galaxy. That's standard canon.
It's a homing device that hones in onto the target's DNA.
Yeah.
You know.
And
did you notice, by the way, when that bounty hunter came and he was looking at Baby Yoda, that it looked like almost Baby Yoda was looking right back at him?
Could have been. That's a good way of maybe looking at it.
Because I was wondering, like, if he was ready, like, if he takes the shot, I'm just going to force push that bullet right back into him type of thing. Because that would have been pretty cool, too, if that's what happened. But it looked like he was almost looking right back at the bounty hunter when he was, like, looking at him down the scope.
He could have sensed a disturbance and was looking at the disturbance.
Yeah.
No, there literally is in the Star Wars galaxy. There are places to hide. It's hard. I mean, it can give you an idea, sense of where you're going, but it's like bounty hunters. You just have to be on the hunt. I mean, there's some planets you just, they won't go. Some of the environment's not breathable. It depends on who your bounty. There's a lot of stuff going. That just gives you a direction and where the target is. You don't know anything.
There's
about
also
the environment,
places
stuff
where
like
you
that.
just won't go to hide because what will eat the dudes chasing you will also eat you.
Yeah. So the Hogler says the Star Wars theory guy says old Yoda and Baby Yoda have different colored eyes to argue against cloning. What do you think? It could be the case. We just don't.
Yeah.
We're guessing.
We don't know
know.
about the species either. The
Yeah,
eyes could change.
nobody.
as you
Yeah, we
age.
know. No, the only two other characters in the Star Wars universe, canon-wise, that we know about is Yaddle and Yoda. That's it. Those are the only two of that species, and we know nothing. We don't have a name of the species. We don't have anything.
There was an
about them.
unnamed one in one of the movies, but yeah, other than that,
We know
that's all we
literally
know.
nothing about where their homeworld is, where they come from. So yeah. So BCM, your thoughts on the show and stuff, this episode?
I'm really enjoying it. I like how it kind of is a different pace. The first three felt like a movie. This is like the start of the next movie.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me, because they're half-hour episodes, figure 90 minutes for a movie. And this is kind of the start of the next chapter. It feels like there's going to be like three episode chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how many episodes.
We're going to
was it
see
10 episodes for season 1, or how many episodes do we know that Mandalorian's going to have?
I thought it was only 8.
I think it's
but-
8. Because it's the week before episode 9 that they're going into.
Yeah.
Okay.
there should be about,
So
4 more.
But I think we're going to see what was her name, Kara again,
yeah, we'll see Cara Dune again.
because
I hope so.
She's
well,
probably
the
on
way
all
this
the
one
advertising
ended,
and stuff.
how they're like, well, our paths will cross again, and he said he was going straight back to the ship. I don't think they're going to make it to the ship. I think she's going to have to step in, and I think we may see IG next episode.
IG,
That's my
yeah.
I think we're going to see the other IG this next episode.
Yeah, everybody loves Cara Dune. Someone's in there like, Cara Dune can kick my ass anytime. Yes, she can.
And she
She's
would.
an awesome
What, did you want to
actor.
wrestle Cara Dune? Well, I guess I got to. I mean, if you got to, you got to. I guess we'll have to fight. So,
I'm ready for round 2.
yeah, I mean, I'll take round 7. Like, beat my ass.
Hey, I loved her in Deadpool, and I love her even more in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So, Grim, your thoughts on the episode?
I really loved Favreau's pretty much shout out homage to the Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
This whole episode felt like that. But it's also like, oh, well, let's see here. It only took 2 of them, and it took 7 samurai to protect the thing. So the Mando counted as 6 dudes. Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really liked this episode. It was well done. It gave us a little bit more background on the Mandalorians.
Yeah, more depth to his character, too.
Background, and it filled us in on Kara's character as to
Yeah.
her
A little bit
background
about
and
her,
stuff.
about being a soldier. The hints and stuff of where she's been, the way the New Republic is working at the moment. Because in this time period, the New Republic is in power. We know the Empire is still around because we haven't had the Battle of Jakku yet. I don't believe, right? Because the Imperial Remnant they're calling it the Remnant.
Yeah.
So
this is before Force Awakens, correct?
Yeah. This is before Force Awakens and after Return of the Jedi, somewhere in between there. I think 7 years after Return of the Jedi. They said
5.
5. So 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So we definitely have not had. I don't think we've had the Battle of Jakku yet. So the Empire is still around, the Remnant, and then we have the New Republic that's formed. So,
I also liked how they how do I put this?
Kurtman says, "Can we talk about the ATST? Like how it ended up with those dog orcs?" Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that after the Empire fell, there's all kinds of those things running around, right?
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that just defected, got the hell out of there, and left all the tech behind.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, holy crap, the Emperor is dead, quote unquote dead.
Yeah, I'm sure they found one and it's got the parts and activated it. So it doesn't surprise me at all that we won't see more of that, piece of equipment. And the ATST looked like a little different from our normal ATSTs that we saw. I mean, it was dark, but it looked like it'd been modified a little bit.
Yeah,
I think it was cool how they had the red lights,
chains and stuff on it, and
it had some things on it that were a little different. You could tell that it had been taken over by whatever these creatures were.
It looked like it had been in a battle too, because you could see blaster, residue on them, big old black spots where it'd been hit by something. It looked cool.
So, but
I mean,
it
really well done, Favreau.
Yeah, this whole series has been really good,
and it also gave us an extra background into the Mandalorians and their code.
Yeah, I was talking to Tits asked me about this. She says, "Is this a typical thing that Mandalorians don't take off their helmets?" I'm like, "No, it's like a religion. Some people practice the religion are more fervent than other people. So Mandalorians, because if you watch the Rebels, which is canon, they all walked around with their helmets off and stuff like that. So I mean, this is on the planet. These are the clans. I think every clan has a different way of what they follow, depending on the code and things of that nature. Because at this point, the Mandalorians are kind of spread out. Their clans are all spread out across the galaxy.
I think it has to do with after the Great Purge, in order to hide their numbers. If they don't take their helmets off in front of other people, you couldn't tell one Mandalorian from the next.
Right, that could be part of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm missing information from Rebels when we saw the Battle of Mandalore, right? Until until here, that's a lot of gap. Like, what happened between then? Mandalorians back in the day didn't do that because we talk about the Old Republic time, they never removed their helmets and stuff in battle and things of that nature. So I don't know if this is a specific clan thing. There's a lot of information we don't have. So I'm not.
I mean, one of the Vizslas is part of his group. So,
that's true.
I mean,
yeah.
And we know they ran around with their helmets off all the time. So
it could be just a test now of dedication to the Mandalorian culture. That's their one steadfast rule. That is the way, or this is the way.
Right. It could be maybe they're doing at that moment in time, something's happening to where they can't remove their helmets and things of that nature. I don't know.
Well, it also gives them a form of anonymity when you think about it, because if they were to go without their armor and their helmet, no one would recognize them. No one would know that they were that person in that armor.
Yeah. So makes sense. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Anything else about this episode? I loved it. I'm loving this series. I am so excited. I can't wait. I hope Star Wars stays in this direction. We know that the Obi-Wan series is coming soon with Ewan McGregor. I can't wait for that as well. to see him on Tatooine and everything. I can't wait for that. We got the Old Republic that's been talked about being a TV series, kind of like Game of Thrones, coming in on this kind of format. I like this format a little bit more for Star Wars because it really gives us a chance to explore. One thing I love about The Mandalorian so far is we've seen different planets and a different part of life in the galaxy that has nothing to do with like lightsabers and Sith and Jedi and stuff. This has something to do totally something else. This gets into that criminal element, that gets into that underworld that, you know, we've seen kind of teased in some of the movies with Boba Fett and Jango Fett and stuff.
It's like most of us say to people that have only watched the movies. It's like the Star Wars universe is not all about lightsabers and the Force.
No, there's a lot of stuff.
So much more.
So it'll be interesting to see where they take this, because we're left after this last episode like, okay, what's going to happen now? And I love that. This is driving me nuts because I'm one of those, I'm a binge watcher. I like to see everything at once because I can't, it drives me batty. Like, I'm like, damn it, that's wait another week for this shit. God damn it.
I watched all 4 back to back before this started, so.
Ugh. So
I've gone back and watched them a couple times. It's just it's
good,
that
man.
Thirst that just it's feeding that thirst that I have.
Oh God, I cannot wait. And I'm gonna be jonesing when the series is over. Like, when's season 2? When's season 2?
Oh, it's gonna be worse than The Walking Dead for me.
All right, and finally, we're gonna get an update. Finn, have you found any Baby Yoda merchandise yet that you can get your hands on?
Just shirts. They have shirts up, but that's pretty much it for now.
No plushie yet?
I'm
not yet.
We've been looking because, trust me, folks, we have our own Amazon wish list for all the other RC crew, and you bet your bottom dollar that there's going to be a bunch of Baby Yoda shit on there for Finn for the Christmas holiday.
It shouldn't be very long before they give us more stuff for that, because like Hot Wheels just did the Razor Crest, the Mando's ship. So
I've already got all the Black
Series. I went to go buy one, and they're all
on my
sold
Amazon
out,
wish
so.
list. I put from the Jedi Fallen Order game. I put the second sister and some of the characters from there on. I put Enfys Nest on. I found one of her in there. The new Black Series, and then they had the Mandalorian. They had for the new movie Episode 9. They had one of the Knights of Ren. I'm like, gimme. I put it on the Amazon wish list. But as soon as we get that Baby Yoda stuff, I'm telling you, folks, I'm going to just pour it all on Finn's list. You're going to see Baby Yoda stuff going in there like crazy.
Right
Finn,
here.
you look.
That's where he's going to go.
Yeah, Finn, you look a little tired. What's up? What's up there, buddy? Is the beard just driving you nuts? Is it weighing you down?
I need more Baby Yoda.
Yeah, God, Jesus. All right. So with that, leave your comments about what you thought of the episode after watching this. What you think, your thoughts, what you like, what you don't like. You know, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe. So we got a busy week coming up. There's nothing going on tomorrow. Again, it's a holiday weekend. A lot of shopping. People are out of town. Things of that nature. So we'll be back Monday for our normal stuff. Going to be a light week of streaming because we've got the big stream coming up next Saturday. About this time, we'll probably be zombified. We're trying to raise money for the American Cancer Society. Really, I will do a stream tomorrow for GAC, probably 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'll knock that out. But there won't be D&D or anything like that. And then Monday we'll be back for our normal lunch streams. We'll do those. But we're going to keep the streams a little light because we have things to set up and work on and things of that nature to get ready for the big stream on next Saturday. So so spread the word, folks. We're gonna need to hit that 10,000. We're $10,000 away from 17.5. I think we can do it. I know we can do it because we've done it in the past when we did other streams. So we'll see what's going on.
Man.
All right.
Friday can't come soon enough, man. I want the next episode.
we'll have to incorporate our Mandalorian show with the 7th string, Finn. Have to add that as part of the agenda or something. All right. That being said, thank you guys for stopping in. Give us a thumbs up. Have a great rest of your night, and we will holler at you later. Peace out.